February 6, 2026 Commissioners meeting. Hope everybody had a safe weekend and didn't have too many disruptions from the winter storm that we just had. The Title VI forms are in the back corner. If anyone would like to fill those out and return them to the auditor's office. Mike, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Brian, can you lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening. We just thank you for your grace. We ask you to watch over us. We ask you to give us wisdom and guidance as we take care of our citizens of Decatur County. We ask all these things in your name.
Amen. All right, first up, we have the review of the January 20th meeting minutes.
Everything looked good to me. I'd make a motion to approve.
Go ahead. I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion carries. Moving on to claims.
I looked through it, I didn't see anything.
It looked good to me. I'll make a motion to accept claims.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion carries. Payroll for January 30th, 2026 in the amount of $419,247.12.
I'll make a motion to accept payroll claims.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right. Do we want to start first then? I know, Gabe, you had mentioned it earlier. Do we want to start first with the public, or the request to vacate the public right away?
They go save them an hour or so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Any
That's good.
additional thoughts? Would you guys like to make any other statements concerning your road up there? No? Any other discussion from the public? This is the second time that we have talked about this, I don't think. I don't. Do we have any paperwork for that? I don't have. I have the purple folders for a different topic here. Brian, I'm getting the same call now. Oh yeah, I just need the ordinance is all. Yeah.
Take it live.
No. No, thanks.
We're all getting a similar phone call up here from the same interesting public figure. All right, any other discussion on the ordinance to vacate the public right-of-way, which is the portion of County Road 645 North in Clarksburg, corner of Lot 7, southwest corner of Lot 8. The address is 7700 East County Road 400 North, Greensburg, Indiana.
I don't have any discussion.
No, I would make a motion to approve 2026-5, to vacate the alley.
I'll set. Brian, go ahead. Yep. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion carries. And what was this ordinance number? Okay.
20.
Thank you for giving that. All right, moving back up to the top of our agenda, Highway Department. Tim Ortman. You guys are fine if you,
Go ahead.
you're fine. Yep.
No, you're all right. Thank you. You're up. Have
Thanks.
a good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. So it's a busy week, as you all know, but I got a hand to the crew. They did an awesome job. They really did. Whole county, all the departments worked so well together. I don't think we could have asked for it to really go much smoother for what it amounted to. So did throw the figures together. These are budgetary numbers since payroll's not complete. We don't have the exact numbers, but basically man hours, about 1,543 man hours went into this storm. Equaled about $40,532. Equipment costs about $159,360, and the material we dropped down is about 124 ton, which equaled about $6,431. As far as material goes, we actually filled all of our trucks before the storm event hit. So we filled up and then turned around and refilled all of our bins. So we were full on inventory plus full on trucks. Okay. So we're sitting basically full on inventories where we're at right now. We're down probably 30 ton off full inventory.
When you say equipment costs, that 159, what does that entail?
That is dump trucks, graders, backhoes, all that based on hourly rate off the FEMA rates.
Okay.
So the FEMA rates are publicized. So it's based off of them.
I assumed that, but I would guess, yeah.
Yes.
So for clarity, you're putting these figures together for potential reimbursement from the.
Yes. Yes, they're put together, but even our normal workload, the equipment is tracked. So any project, we go back and see the figures and stuff. So yeah, we just run the report for this storm events, what we did to pull it out
Okay.
is what we did. So and that's pretty much the storm event. Moving on to bids, we did advertise for bids for Community Crossing Grant Chip and Seal 2026-1. And we did also advertise for furnished and applied chip and seal for this year. So them are out. They're due back in February 13th. So that'll be a special commissioners meeting to do that. So, and then we're talking about FEMA and that, the storm, the spring storm, the flooding, we pretty much closed that all out. We do have a meeting this Wednesday. It's actually called the Recovery Transition Meeting, which basically closes everything out. So the three phases of that, the category A, which is emergency work, we received the check for that for $30,772. We received that already. So Cat C is the work that we need to do beyond the event, the permanent work, the repairs and stuff. So that came up to $112,526 we'll be getting back. And then the administrative cost to put all this together, they paid us a certain amount of money, which came up to $2,917 for the administrative cost to pursue that money. So we have not received the last two figures yet, but they've been approved. So that'll be coming in.
That's great.
You guys got anything else for me, or?
I know you guys did a great job. They had the 1,500 hours is
Yes.
pretty incredible for your guys. Having crews work around the clock, it was fantastic. So,
Not very often do I get an email that says the highway department did a great job. I've got several that
Well, that's good.
usually it's my road needs fixed, or my road, right?
Yeah, it usually is,
I've
yes.
got 2 or 3 emails that said the highway department did a fantastic job. So,
given
Kudos.
the
Kudos.
amount of snow that we had, the progress that was made, the weather conditions, it was fantastic.
Appreciate it.
so good job.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I do have one thing for you.
Yes.
If you could, on 200 there in between the park and the ball diamonds,
Yes.
if you can sketch out what parking could look like
Okay.
on both sides, either parallel parking on both sides, or do angled parking
Yes, yes.
on one side and no parking on another, and then striping that road.
Yep.
So that we can see how we can get the most parking available, and then also cost figures for how much it's going to cost to stripe, and then also paint lines for parking.
Yeah, no problem. We can do that.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else, gentlemen?
That's it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. All right, right, Mike Snyder, EMA.
Good evening. Hello. Wanted to present to you tonight a grant that we have applied for, which actually I was approached by Duke Energy for a $2,500 grant to, they called me like 3 days before the snow come in and said, hey, we'd like to help with your response to that. So the grant is essentially anything that we would possibly need in weather response, winter weather response. So we have looked at several different items that would enhance our capabilities. A couple of those would be salamander style heaters. But I wanted to go with the electric kind and make sure that we could get adapters for our generators to run those. So that way we wouldn't have to worry about ventilating. So that was something that we could work into those. We got, instead of the really large ones, we got some medium ones and a couple small ones so they could be used in a variety of scenarios. And Duke has approved it. It's just waiting to work its way through the portal that they use to distribute those funds with. So once we get that, it's pretty much, hey, we'll do this for you. Fill this out. Okay, so that's what we've gotten that we're going with. And getting a couple other small supplies like a load of caution tape, a couple cases of that, because I know a lot of the public safety departments were using that to indicate for disabled vehicles. And there was a little bit of a shortage amongst the departments, so we're getting a few things for that. Also a couple of items for our warming center, our warming shelter. Getting a couple of items for that and some blankets and whatnot as well.
Where do you envision using the salamanders?
So one thing would be for fire departments in the extreme cold out there when they had that house fire or barn fire, and they needed one to get a bus to warm up in between switching people out. School buses I've been in were never really warm, so one of those that's electric powered that we could run the generator outside and run a cord through would be ideal for that type of situation. And the smaller or even a medium sized one would be powered through that and be able to warm that much better than what the onboard heater would do. So scenarios like that, or an example I discussed with animal control not too long ago is they have an area that if they needed extra heating in there, could we power something? I said, well, we have generators that we could utilize for that. But I said, we don't really have heaters. Well, this would close a gap there as well on capability for that.
And it looks like from the paperwork here, there's a match of $0. So
Yes,
we aren't
that's-
putting anything else up for this. So
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yep.
Together.
All right, thanks.
All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve the Duke Energy grant.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Also, thank you for all your help with the storm.
Yeah.
Your updates and the briefings that we had were
Went very, very
great.
well.
All right, Doug Westerfeld, APC.
The governor keeps calling, by the way. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
so
don't know
you're
what
getting
it
the
is.
same calls?
Just got it again. So I asked to be put on the agenda last week, hoping to have the reimbursement agreement finalized, but we didn't get it until Friday. So the pen's kind of in our hands to make some changes and send it back to IPA's attorneys. But you guys do have it. If you have any questions or any comments, and I think I sent a copy to Chad as well, just let me know, and we'll want to get that tied up. But there's nothing going to be done on that today. But since I'm up here, I do want to make the community aware that with the comprehensive plan that to do the survey, they're talking about closing it out at the end of this week. So go online, do the survey. We're sitting at about 179 surveys right now. So I wanted to take the opportunity to remind everybody to do the survey. So That's all that I have.
We want as many opinions and views as we can get for the comprehensive plan when the steering committee meets again, to be able to have a accurate snapshot of what's going on here in Decatur
Yep.
County.
What's going on and what everybody wants Decatur County to look like moving forward.
While you're mentioning the comp plan, we did receive correspondence through the Indiana Grant Management Portal that we're just supposed to announce that the engineering firm has been conducting public engagement committee meetings, and the plan's on schedule.
Yep.
Agree with that?
I would agree with that.
So we already had our focus groups, we already had our initial public meetings. The steering group will get together again here soon, and
Yep.
we'll have another public meeting when we're discussing a draft of the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, and that'll be towards the end of April, that next public meeting.
That was my next question, was once you get the surveys in and you tabulate all that information, then
Yeah,
what's next?
it's pegged for April 30th,
April
but
30th.
that date could move, but right now it's pegged for April 30th.
Okay, great.
All right, well, I think that covers the topic of the comp
does.
plan update that was on the agenda. It is moving forward, and it's been very good working with HWC.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Anything else, Doug?
Nope, that's it.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we have an approval for quote with, on here, it's WIS, it's Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy, for a salary study, for the animal shelter and the Parks Department, specifically including reviewing, updating job descriptions, reviewing FLSA status, reviewing existing classifications, department organizational structure, point factoring positions using a factor evaluation system, and making classification recommendations. Consultants will conduct a review of current salaries and pay practices and develop a salary schedule to encompass entry-level and base-level salaries for each classification level, using the existing job classifications and 2026 salaries. The quote for Wagner, Irwin, Shealy is in the price range of $4,950 up to $6,250 plus expenses. Their fee schedule is for the principal consultant of $165 per hour, senior consultant is $125 per hour, and a consultant is $65 per hour. We had received another quote from True Comp, it looks like, from Benchmarking Media Base, and it was $27,500. Wagner, Irwin, Shealy had been involved with the salary study that we'd already had done.
I guess my question was, I know we had a salary study, when was that, 2 years ago, a year ago?
Into 23, effective, 20.
So I'm assuming that the Parks Department and the animal shelter were not done at that time?
No, they were.
Every classification was done.
Okay,
We've
so
just
why are
seen-
we doing this one again in 2 years?
In a couple departments, the Parks Department has had a lot of growth. Animal shelter changes, and the animal shelter particularly, we see a lot of compression as far as the wages go, and concern over that with what part-time employees are making now. So we want to make sure we're addressing that and that people are paid fairly. Again, Parks Department, they've added a lot of positions with the complex out there. And then going forward, we'll have the pool. So those would not have been there at that time.
I guess, part of my question is I understand exactly what you're saying. But, what's the need for a salary study? I guess my question is, can't we just do that in-house? Us understanding what those issues are and then work towards finding to resolve those versus, hiring somebody to tell us what we already know. We already know we have compression in the salaries. We already know that we need to change some job descriptions. So I guess
They do,
if that
but
makes
they
sense.
They work with nearly all of the counties in Indiana. They
I
have
understand.
that data
I
and
understand.
gather it, so that we're not just picking out numbers.
I did look through the previous salary study, especially when it came to some of those departments. Things are very generalized. So I guess I would ask, is this going to be the same or is it going to range? Because it does a really good job of just putting people in buckets. And then this is high, medium, low.
I mean, this is your range, and then we pick that range, we pick the salary anyway.
Right.
It gives you maybe, I don't know, a $10,000 discrepancy between, I don't know, I'm just,
We do, but also what we did was, we set up a 3-year plan. We're already in year 3 of that 3-year plan. So
Which
we,
this really isn't our wheelhouse to have to deal with. But, I mean, it's more of a council thing.
yes.
I guess that's the issue that I have is that, and we've talked about this in the salary committee, is that, we did a 3-year plan and then implemented what should have been done prior, so we're now 3 years behind again. So we're always 3 years behind. We finally got to where we should have been prior, and now we're looking to start all over.
well, again, we didn't have job descriptions. We got the job descriptions. We're kind of going through this step at a time. But
I mean, I guess we can use this as an example to see if it's worth doing it again for everyone else, but if it's just gonna be so generalized that it doesn't, you can get on public,
I can get on Gateway and tell you what people
Gateway, and you
make.
can find out what everybody
I mean,
makes.
it's pretty simple.
Positions anyway.
it is, but you need to be comparing apples to apples,
And it's true,
population
there is some
and.
responsibility that are different between some people, some folks. I mean, there's always a saying, right? You pay somebody X for what the job is worth, but then you also pay them what they're worth, right? So there's sometimes an exception where you may be in a role, but you're doing more than what a typical person in that role would. I don't know if it gets that granular with my key. From what I saw before, it's executive 1 is this, or maintenance person 1 is this, and it's like, well, that's not. I struggle with
Then it becomes up to the council makes those decisions on the salary. We don't have any,
Into the salary
we don't
study.
have any voice in a salary.
Right.
We can ask, for a salary, like when not Chris, but when Charlie was hired, we asked for a certain salary for him and had to go in front of the council to ask for that salary. So, I guess, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're spending good money here for this. I just don't know. Up to
Up to
$6,900.
$6,250. My concern overall is that when we have had to go and hire department head officials, department head level officials, since I have sat up here as a commissioner, we have consistently had to go above what our original salary was. And it's been above what the salary study had compared us to in Decatur County with other like counties. We've been stretching further up to other counties that are above what our threshold would be for the comparative counties. So I do feel like a little bit we're behind again, Gabe, to your point, for where we are with other counties and being competitive in hiring for some of these higher level positions. Because I don't want to see us fall behind again for where we are with our employees.
I agree, but if we're already 3 years behind again.
Yep.
We paid for a study to tell us that we knew people were paid less than what they need to be, so we corrected it. Now we're already 3 years behind. Now we're gonna take another study, and then we're still gonna pick the middle of the road, which is not the low or the high, so we're gonna pick the middle of the road and then try to get them their salary over the next couple of years, and then now we're behind again, so to me, if there's not any corrective action, then it's just, we're just kicking the can down the road.
No, I agree.
There's a difference between hiring somebody who will do the position, and there's a difference between hiring somebody who's gonna excel in the position. And that's why I think typically we look for the candidate that's gonna excel in these positions, therefore, we tend to need to be on the higher side. And so then we're constantly asking for more, so we're gonna pay for a salary study to then just have to turn around and hire somebody over what it said was the median, then what did we pay for?
I guess that's my,
We gave $7,000 for somebody
Well,
to give us nothing.
And also but also to the point of having the study done, when there have been discussions here lately, with certain departments about paying a commensurate rate to the work that's being done. I think that the discussion with the council was if they can back up the claims because the salary study says this, can you back up the claims that this job should be paid more in other places, compared to other counties? I think that's what some of that discussion revolved around, and that's where this information would potentially come in. And I think to your point, it would be easy enough in these roles here to be able to go on to Gateway or to compare those to other counties, because you are only talking about two different departments. But I think if you were doing this on a countywide level, I don't think that we could do that.
No, it would be a lot more.
Try to get more established starting pays, because that's an issue we have across departments.
I know, but that's my point. We just did it 3 years ago, so we shouldn't be struggling with that. We should have found out what the rates were for inflation and followed the path of what that was. So if it was a 2023 number, then we should have taken that number and increased the inflation rate and followed that schedule instead of trying to take 3 years to get to that. Now pay for another study to tell us that we're behind, but we already know that. If we already know we're behind, and I don't understand why we gotta pay for somebody else to tell us we're behind. To me, it makes sense to just, if we're not gonna make the correction, then what's the point of paying the money to find out? I mean, we already know the situation that we're in, right? That's why we wanna pay somebody to tell us that we're behind, but we already know that, that's why we wanna do it. I worry that
that's my thought.
I worry that there's not, if we're not gonna fix the problem, then why give somebody $7,000?
Absolutely.
And I think also, one of the things that you've talked about is a job description, right? And updating those job descriptions. And I think, have you done that in the past, revised and updated job descriptions? Okay.
I guess for me, I would at least ask to table it until we speak to council more and speak to the, I'm assuming this came underneath the recommendation of the salary committee?
Yes.
I wasn't at the last one, so I guess I would want to speak more to those folks about that before I feel comfortable just giving somebody something.
Yep. I'm good with that.
I'm good with tabling it and doing a little more research.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, but
No,
I'd just like to know before I do it.
Those are my questions. You know, are we going to follow the study and implement those things? Because I'm not sure if we did exactly the last time.
And it was I do also understand that.
It was a big undertaking.
And I did say it, so I want to make sure I say this. I understand we were very behind in some areas, so there was a lot of makeup that needed to happen. But I understand why maybe that process was delayed out for years. But I guess my point is we are still behind, and we know that. We shouldn't, to me, it seems like we should have projected, the inflation rate for 3 years and tacked that to the corrective pay. And then I don't think we would be as far behind. So I would just like to hear their plan.
Patty, do you think that from the job descriptions that were submitted in 2023, effective in 24, do you think they accurately reflect where we're at with these departments today?
The majority is.
Okay.
And, in every department, an employee had input in that. So, like I said, the majority, I don't think, has had a lot of changes since the twos. But, from councils, when it comes to them, though, I think maybe that's their comfort, is saying someone has.
They're guided by the salary
Yeah,
study.
Yes, they have gathered all this data, they look at this, and then it helps them plan.
Yep.
But, maybe we can use the gateway.
table it until the next meeting. All right. Up next, we have the fairgrounds rental contract. You guys had an opportunity to go through Chad's handiwork.
Yep.
In it, we have a list of prohibited activities, which are prohibited unless otherwise approved. Some of those I think would be your usual prohibited acts in a public facility, like smoking or vaping or using alcohol, having firearms, fireworks, damage to the building in general. For some of those different prohibited activities, the commissioners would be willing to go ahead and permit certain activities depending on what the event is. And also if there is also a commensurate insurance policy to cover any potential increase in liability from those activities. So if there was some event where they wanted to serve alcohol, we would want to see the appropriate insurance policy for that. Also in there, we have the bartender's name and license, a form for that. If there were some type of a gun show, we would just want to see the appropriate insurance for that, security measures, those kinds of things. We do have in here also that there's not to be any hanging of anything from the walls or the fire suppression system, basically anything. We will be looking at having some type of wire or line that is available if necessary to be able to hang items for display or decoration, what have you, for that event. We had previously gone over the rental charges for the entire fairgrounds, including the new community building. Those fees are represented in Appendix A that we had previously voted upon. The entire fairgrounds is $10,000. The community building is $2,500. Livestock pavilion is $2,000. The track and grandstands $1,500. Commercial building is $600. Farm and home building with the stage is $500. The headquarters building is $400. Rabbit poultry barn is $800. The OA food stand is $200 for the north side and $200 for the south side. Oh, we need to.
Strike the obvious.
Yep, we need to remove the Optimus slab because that's where the new community building sits. West parking lot is $200. The horse arena and stables are $500. That now includes the horse arena and stables. They're lumped together. It used to be that you could rent out the arena, or you could rent out the arena plus the stables for an additional charge. That's now lumped together, and it does not include any equipment. The midway area is $100. Camping overnight with electric is $35. Camping overnight primitive, no electricity, is $10. Tables and chairs. These are not the tables and chairs from the new community building. That rate stayed the same as before, is $5 for tables, $1 per chair. For the new community building, it includes all of the amenities that are in the community building, which would be the tables and chairs, the AV system, kitchen, the stage that's in there. We also removed the fee for stocking restrooms and providing paper products in the different buildings for those restrooms. The contract also includes the discount rates for individuals that are donors to the project at varying levels of $50,000 and above, $25,000 to $49,999, $10,000 to $24,999, $5,000 to $9,999. We also have included the different possible avenues for not-for-profits or 501c3s to receive discounts. And then also, we have delineated here the discounts for Decatur County 4-H, junior leaders, FFA, and then also the rates for regional or state 4-H, junior leaders, or FFA conferences. Do you guys have any questions, thoughts, recommendations as far as this whole rental agreement pack?
No, other than, as we discussed a little bit earlier, that as we maneuver through this new process, I'm sure that we'll come up with something or think of something that we need to amend and or change. So this is probably going to be a fluid thing, for a time period until we get our feet under us and figure this all out.
I agree.
The only concern that I see is the Midway area, if we end up asphalting that, to do the loop for 88 compliance.
Yep.
$100, and people are driving equipment over top of them, cracking it off. So
That would definitely need to be changed, and we have
I think that could be an issue just down the road.
one of the fair committee members is going to be pulling together a quote for that, and so that's something that soon here we could be bringing before a meeting to talk about that project moving forward. I know it's something that Lures would like to see. It's something that would help the carnival rides in the Midway during the fair, and it would also help with some of the other events that use that space throughout the year
I agree.
to be able to have an actual paved driveway in that area. So yeah, that's something that I think if we get to that point, we can talk about an increase in the rate or limitations on use in that area. I don't know how many times that area is just rented out, though. I don't think, I can't think of many off the top of
Doesn't
my head.
seem like it.
No.
It is that I can think of.
Yeah. Dennis, should you sit back there? Any thoughts? Sounds great.
I think this is a great start. I mean, it's a great starting point, and as we go, I think we'll come up with something. Oh, I wish we would have thought of this,
Absolutely.
and we can amend and or add as we move along. We'll just give Chad more work.
Yep. And I can tell you just as an update from the rental standpoint, I was contacted by a gentleman last week about wanting to bring in a gun show, 2-day gun show. It would be, he doesn't have the date yet. He was going to get with our calendar and look at his calendar, but it would be a Friday night setup, Saturday, Sunday gun show, tear down Sunday night afterwards. So 2 days. He said that in a similar facility here just either last week or the weekend before, similar facility, and they had approximately 3,500 people that had been at that gun show. So it's starting.
Yeah, I think it's great.
All right. If there's nothing else on this, I would make a motion to approve the contract with the deletion of the Optimus slab.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? All right. You can just delete that and email it to me, and then I will forward it on to Dennis and Bonita. Thank you very much. All right, I have 2 different contracts here that Scott Best gave me for the upcoming fair. We have one contract for Singer sled rental for the tractor pull, and for the sled, it's $1,650. This does not require any payment at this point, Christy. And then I have another contract with WPI NTPA National Sanction Agreement, and the total cost is $15,000. This is the same sanctioning agreement that we had in place last year and year before. To have any kind of a tractor pull, we have to have a sanctioned event to bring folks in to get points in the series. So we have to have it sanctioned. So these are the 2 contracts that Scott sent over to me. I'd make a motion that we approve both the sled and the sanction agreement contracts.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? All right, passes. Christie, on the sanction agreement, in the fine print, I think there's two separate prepayments, and Scott gave you his phone number here to call him.
I remember that from last year.
Yeah.
It's in the very fine print that it's
Yes.
due.
Yes, it is. But there those are.
Okay.
All right, we've already taken care of Wayne Spear. I know, Brian, you wanted to talk about the annex.
Yes, so we have, during our long-range planning committee, we've been discussing different, our facilities and updating our facilities and working on different parts of that. So one of our discussions was the annex and looking at doing some updating to the exterior of it. That building was built in the 50s as an elementary school. It's been through different variations. There's been several people use it. We currently own it and use it for multiple government entities for Decatur County, and it needs some work. The exterior needs some work. The windows need replaced, and/or walls, exterior walls added for just just an updating for energy efficiency. So we had 2 years ago, we had a quote from Verigy, and they gave us a quote for $2 million to do an update on that building. And that included HVAC, that included some exterior walls, but it wasn't very specific. It didn't have a lot of detail to it. We just kind of surfacely addressed that, and then it was dropped and we never moved forward with it. So I feel like we really need to take care of this building. So I've reached out to Barnes Construction about giving us a quote to look at that building and what kind of work and what kind of price would it be to do some exterior work on it. For them to do that, they need drawings. We have blueprints of the building, but it doesn't have any measurements. It doesn't have what they need for an exterior drawing. So they are recommending that they do a exterior site survey. It's called an on-site survey scanning. It's a 3D scan and to a CAD conversion, and they've given us a quote for $18,900. And what this will do, it'll give us schematics and a diagram of the building with all the measurements of the building, and then with that, they can move forward to giving us a quote on what it would cost to do an upgrade to the exterior. The advantage of this is this is ours. We pay for it, it's ours. If we want bids, which we will get bids from other companies, but we can use this as part of our bid package to give these measurements and the schematics to other companies. So I think this is the first step in moving forward to working on the annex. Once we have this, we can start getting quotes and see where we're at. The good thing is currently the annex, we just did the HVAC system last year, and that's a huge cost that we can take off of what the price that Verigy had given us. But I feel like we definitely need to take care of this building.
I agree, and the Verigy quote had also included light fixture upgrades.
Yes.
And that had predated having Charlie as a county employee, and he's more than capable of doing those different fixture upgrades if we need them for that side of it. The building needs work, and if this is the best way for us to get there, then I think that we should.
I think also, when we talk about putting the new HVAC system in, the efficiency of that is not being utilized because those are all single pane windows. And if you look at that exterior of that building, most of it is glass, and we're losing a lot of our heat out that glass. So I know there's some savings here, but also just it needs that update.
Anything from you, Gabe?
We talked about the annex has a fund that we can use it out of. I would entertain we get this done.
I'd make a motion to move forward with it.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Exciting, it'll be good to get that place a facelift.
Yes.
And see if we can help with the airflow that you feel in a lot of those
Yeah, and to be
offices.
clear, it's not just to try to make it look better.
It's the efficiency.
Those windows are a problem.
If you sit in the offices there, you can feel the cold air coming in this time of year from the outdoors. And so it's definitely chilly. It's definitely costing us money having it sit in the current state that it's in.
Please.
There are those.
Yeah.
I got through everything on my agenda. You guys have anything else before I go around the room? All right. Brian Robbins, you can step to the podium if you'd like.
Again, commend Mike and you guys for the handling of the weather. The industries were well-informed, I feel, and I got good feedback from them, so well done on that front. On the Ready front, we're just kind of getting things wrapped up from Ready 1. We still have locally one project, but we're starting on the construction season for the Ready 2 projects, so that's good. And then as far as everything else, we are receiving considerable interest from prospects, and we'll just see how those go. So,
Brian, I did see your grant opportunity.
yeah, I think I might be one to take advantage of.
Absolutely.
So, anything I can help with on that, let me know.
I think so. So I'm going to look into that, and maybe we can tackle that and get a grant, get that written.
Sure. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Chris, anything from Parks? All right, very good. Ken?
Won't skip out this time.
I would have been concerned.
I'll return the bunny suit that I just ordered for the coldness of the annex building.
Hey, might keep it for a year or so.
Yeah, okay. I'll keep it in safe. The only thing I've got, and I don't know if, Mike, this falls into yours, but the sign that I got on my door for the fire plan is from when it was the jail. So I don't know if we have a new one of those updated that actually shows the new offices that are in there. Might be something to think about. I just happened to look at it and I went, that's a little bit out of date. And
So we're updating signage here in the courthouse, and I think Charlie, he said he needs to go over to the annex and do the same thing there and look at some of that. So,
yeah, I just saw that as I was walking out my door the other day. I went, that's a little bit old. The only other thing else I got is Hearts of Freedom, which is the freedom singing, taking veterans' stories and putting them into song. That's next week. So I actually got some pamphlets that they just got mailed to me today. I'm going to bring them and just put them somewhere up here. If you guys can take them and distribute them among your offices. Sounds like they're planning things. I've been in contact with them, continually giving them names. And I even told them that you can't find 5, then call me. And with my 36 years of experience and 3 deployments, I'm sure I can give you a song if I have to. But I said I'd have to have my wife involved and give it from the perspective of a dependent from a deployment, because sometimes we forget about those that we leave behind. And so that's coming up, and just plan for that. I've actually just reached out to my son who works at the flight facility in Shelbyville, and I'm going to see if I can't pull a few strings and maybe get a flyover with a Black Hawk helicopter that evening if I can. We'll see. I'll cross my fingers that maybe I can
that'd be cool.
have something like that happen. If I do, then it'll be a miracle, and you can all go, wow. Last thing is next commissioners meeting we have on the schedule for Ron Higgins to be here
Yes.
to discuss the new Indiana Code 1017-1-9, which is the stuff that's going to be governing me for your VSO, and he'll be here. And then Tim took off before I could grab him so he can add 3 hours of labor and snowblower for cleaning St. Nicholas Street and St. Morse on Monday. That was fun with a snowblower cleaning out my street in order to get out. It was think we had 16 inches of snow out there too, so it was pretty fun. But we all made it and everybody's good, so that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you, Ken. And that event is going to be the first event out of the new fairgrounds community building. So that'll be a great way to kick off that event will be a great way to kick off the new building.
Yes,
Yes. So it's first event at the new community building next Friday night.
no, next
I'm
Thursday, the
sorry.
12th.
Yeah. Well, that's the sit down
Thursday.
dinner.
Yes.
The Friday night is the concert. $25 cover charge.
$25 cover charge.
My pamphlet's got QR codes on it that you can actually go in and start making your reservations
Yep.
if you want.
We're really burning that close because they're still polishing the floor right now.
Nut and Fancy is also playing during that event, and earlier on the 13th at 10 a.m. will be the ribbon cutting for the new community building as well.
Yeah,
So,
glad you brought that
yep.
up.
Okay, moving on. Leanne, anything from communications?
So I sent you all an email update after the storm, and we fared through that, which was really good. No overtime, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Everybody made call in.
was gonna say, that's good.
The only expense that we had is I had 4 hotel rooms for 2 people for 2 nights. But
Extra
less than
coffee.
$400, you did great.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Doug, anything else? Mike? Nope. Christy, anything from the auditor's office? All right. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
All right, we are recessed. Thank you, folks.